Hello everybody, this is Kerry with our week ahead look for September 21st through the 27th. You guys keep saying you like the background, so luckily I live in a photogenic place. I'll try to make it interesting for you. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. This week ahead, so it's Saturday. I'm putting these out on Saturday, but we're looking Sunday to Saturday. I think of Sunday as the first day of the week. The big thing this week is the partial solar eclipse that is happening on Sunday in most places in the world. It's a partial eclipse. It's partial because the sun and moon, that's the moment of the eclipse, is that new moon moment when they come together. They are not too close to Ketu, which is the eclipser in this case. So you can see that Ketu is at 2410 degrees, and sun and moon, once they get together, will be at about 4 degrees, between 4 and 5 degrees. So they're almost 10 degrees apart. That's why it's partial. 2 weeks ago, when we had the lunar eclipse on September 7th, that was a total eclipse. That means that Rahu was close enough to the moon that it really blocked out that light. So this partial solar eclipse will be visible only in New Zealand and parts of Antarctica. For people in the U.S., like you can see that I'm looking at now Washington, D.C. In Washington, D.C., that eclipse will happen around noon or so, but you won't actually be able to see it over there in Washington, D.C. Partial eclipse. Anyway, it's an eclipse, and I have to say that this 2 weeks that I'm finding between the two eclipses has been very interesting, and a lot has happened and a lot has not happened. It seems like that's what I'm picking up on. It's out of all of the years I've been looking at the planets and stars, this eclipse cycle for me has been the most dramatic, honestly. Just watching what's happening in our lives and around the world, really, really interesting stuff. So let's think about the solar eclipse that's happening tomorrow on the September 21st, which is also the autumnal equinox, where days are equal to night at the equator, the beginning of the fall season. This eclipse, I feel like, is closing up the cycle. And really what is the most interesting to me, so you can look at this chart. This is sunrise in DC, and as you can see, the moon is at 0 degrees 17 at sunrise. So as it goes through the day, it's going to meet up with the sun, and that's when that eclipse will happen. What to me is the most interesting about this solar eclipse is that Saturn, you can see up there, Saturn 417, will be exactly opposite the sun and moon when that eclipse occurs. I think that's telling. Also really interesting that the sun and moon are in Virgo and Ketu is over in Leo. That feels like something. It's a partial eclipse, and it's also, maybe think about your own chart and think about, where is Leo, what is Virgo, is it the 5th and 6th house, is it the 7th and 8th house? This might be the zone in which you personally feel any kind of eclipse effects. So that's the big news of the week. Other than that, only the moon is changing signs this week. So it's starting out big bang with the new moon, partial solar eclipse on Sunday. Mercury is also there in Virgo. So last week we had Venus, Sun, Mercury, and Mars all shift signs, and now they're in place. So from here, they're not really moving this week. We just have the moon waxing. And it'll start out with Sun and Mercury, move over through Libra with Mars, and then go into the signs where there's no other planets. And that'll be our week. So what I wanted to talk about for the most part today is the thing I'm feeling the most as a potential thing for us to explore and use is the Venus and Ketu that are conjoined up in, they're getting closer in Leo. So they aren't even going to conjoin this week. But I feel like this Venus in Leo with Ketu is the energy that I'm feeling. And the other day, I don't know if you guys saw in the morning before sunrise, we had that Moon Venus Regulus conjunction that was really pretty. I took a picture. Anyway, so the Venus Ketu thing in Leo, let's unpack that, because there's a lot going on there. Leo is the sign ruled by the sun. It is the 5th sign of the zodiac. Usually the 5th sign, 5th house, is associated with creative issue. Creative issue could be a child, it could be a book that you write, anything you make, anything you create. Very creative sign. And it's also a dharma sign, in the sense of it shows us our purpose in life. Now, we've had Ketu came into Leo. That was in May of 2025. It's going to stay there for about a year and a half. Ketu and Rahu, the way they move through the zodiac, is backwards from all of the other planets. So it started at 30 and is going to go down to 0. So we have a year and a half of Ketu in Leo. And we'll have other eclipses even later on next year. 2026, we'll have 2 sets of eclipses. Anyway, Ketu in Leo is one thing. Think about that just by itself. And maybe you know your chart and you know what house that is in your chart, or you have other planets there. But think of Ketu as a transformer energy. It's something that allows us to really work through things, solve problems, and make changes, really deep, important changes. So wherever Leo is in your chart, think about the opportunity over a long period of time, year and a half, to make a big, deep change. Because big, deep changes are not easy. And they take some work and some courage as well, for the most part. So think about Ketu being a transformer. Figure out where that is in your chart and use that energy to make those changes that are scary and difficult. Now, with bringing Venus into that mix, the other thing that Ketu gets associated with is obstacles and blockages. Like, I'm going down the road and now I've just hit a wall and now I don't know where to go. Do I turn left? Do I turn around? Do I hop the wall? These are all choices that you can make. So Ketu has that reputation for making a block, especially in the physical realm, in the material realm. On a spiritual note, Ketu tends to elevate and uplift and liberate. So transformation, liberation, Ketu energy in Leo. How are you going to use it? Now we're bringing Venus in. Venus is the planet of relationship, love, beauty, comfort, good food, families, essentially all the things humans tend to want. Luxury, money, food, all those things, relationships, connections with other people. So Venus is that planet. Venus is also artistic and creative. So Venus going into Leo is actually a creative planet going into a creative sign with a transformer. The Ketu is there, right? So this could be a great time for creativity, especially in the sense of, are you having creative blocks right now? Have you had a writer's block? Have you had an artistic block? Have you had a block with relationships? Maybe there's something that you have in a current relationship that seems untenable and a deep change needs to be made. Is it time to let go? Is it time to go harder toward? These are the things to explore with this Venus Ketu energy. So this is going on all week and probably next week too. So think about that as we move through things. How do you need to change your creative flow? How do you need to overcome an obstacle in your relationship? These are the things. Okay, so I'm going to click us forward. This is Sunday, the 21st, and now we're at Monday. Moon is still in Virgo. It's getting further away from the sun, etc. I'm running us through quickly here. This is Tuesday. Tuesday is the moon will move over into Libra. So think about Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday as moon and Mars together in Libra. And that's something I want to point out as well. Rahu in Aquarius, Jupiter in Gemini, Mars in Libra. These are all the air signs. Both Rahu and Jupiter tend to aspect in the same way, and they aspect all the signs of the same element from where they sit. So all of the air signs this year since June, because that's when Rahu and Jupiter really got settled in, have been enlivened by Rahu and Jupiter's aspect. They had their mutual aspect a couple weeks ago. Jupiter, we know Jupiter is going to be cruising into Cancer temporarily. We'll get to that in a few weeks. But I want to point out that Mars, Jupiter, Rahu, that is energy to get things done. And this is air sign. So air signs tend to move quickly, change their mind a lot, and overthink. So you may find yourself realizing like, oh, wow, it's really time. It's time for me to go. It's time for me to create this thing. It's time for me to do this work. And you might be overthinking it. Rahu loves to overthink. He has all kinds of ideas about everything all the time. And so that's hitting Mars. And Jupiter's also hitting Mars. Mars just likes to do things. He likes to make a plan and a strategy and go. So if you're getting frustrated this week because you thought you had the plan down and you thought you had communicated it and that we were going to do this thing, but you're getting change orders from somebody or something, that can be frustrating. And if you're the one making the change orders or overthinking, maybe reel that in a little bit and just trust your plan and go with it. So that's just a thought. All right, now let's advance one more day. This is Wednesday. So sometime during Tuesday night, moon moves over into Libra. So Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to have the moon and Mars combination. So that means the moon is in the mix now with that Jupiter Rahu thing. Tuesday and Wednesday are great days to get work done. Tuesday is Mars's day, and the moon joining Mars can be very, it can be productive. It can also be emotional in a hot way. Like Mars gets a little angry. So with Rahu affecting the moon and Mars affecting the moon, watch your mood, do your self-care, don't react and say anything that you're going to regret. It's not worth it. Slow it down. So there we go. Let's go forward. We're at Thursday here. So Thursday moon is still in Libra. It's going to be moving later on. Friday morning, the moon will be really early into Scorpio. So I'm just going to forward us there. Okay, Friday. Friday, moon starts in Scorpio. So Friday and Saturday, the end of the week, moon will be in Scorpio. The moon doesn't love it. Moon is debilitated in Scorpio. So especially on Friday, 3 degrees, Scorpio is where the moon really dips down. So Friday morning might be a little rough. You might feel like, is it the weekend yet? Am I there yet? So maybe just don't try to plan too much. Do know that the moon is waxing. The moon gets a little stronger each day as it waxes. So, hang in there. And then let's go to Saturday. Saturday the 27th of September. The moon starts the day in middle of Scorpio and will end the day in Scorpio, and that'll be the end of our week. So on one hand, you might feel more energy this week as the moon is waxing. On the other hand, you might waste your energy because you get emotional about things not going exactly the way you thought. So plan in advance that to just slow down and take things step by step, and maybe take Friday off. You could do that. Make your weekend a little bit longer. That's all I've got for you this week. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate your comments and suggestions. I really do. So thanks a lot for finding me and listening up and checking in with the planets and stars again. Have a great week. See you next Saturday.